Good morning, dear students. Hope you are all well. Today I am going to talk about Pride and Prejudice. Dear students, Pride and Prejudice is a romantic novel written by Jane Austen, and today I will discuss about the aspects that might be very important from the point of view of examination. Today I will request you to give more attention on those things which I will try to highlight or emphasize during my discussion. Dear students, this novel Pride and Prejudice was first published in the year 1813. My dear students, remember the year 1813 when it was first published. And dear students, another important thing, when it was first published, it had a different name, different title, and the title was First Impression. So you will remember two very important things here. One, the year of publication of the novel, and the another one, the first title that was given is First Impression. Dear students, title Jane Austen employs several types of styles of her. Here Jane Austen employs the style of pairing two slightly contrasted ethical terms. What are these ethical terms? One is pride, another one is prejudice. Pride and prejudice, and these two ethical terms have been used in the title itself. Pride and Prejudice, and another novel of her, very important novel, Sense and Sensibility. Both these novels had initially different title. What are these? What are the different titles? What was the title of Pride and Prejudice at the very beginning, dear student? First Impression. Yes, First Impression. But on revision, the First Impression was changed and it was titled Pride and Prejudice. First Impression was given to this novel. First Impression, this title was given to the novel in the year 1797 when it was published. So the present novel which we are discussing was first published in 1797, having a different title, and the title is First Impression. It was later revised and published under the title Pride and Prejudice. And which year? It was published in the year 1813, having the title Pride and Prejudice. First Impression also play an important role in the novel. You see, Elizabeth is misled in her judgment of both Darcy and Wickham. Who was Darcy? Remember this character? And Wickham, the brother, so-called brother of Darcy, as Wickham tried to relate himself with Darcy. Elizabeth's attitude towards both the characters is only a result of the first impression. But if we study the novel deeply, we find that Pride and Prejudice is an apt title. The first impressions only last for the first few chapters of the novel, while Pride and Prejudice pervades throughout the novel. The novel is about the pride of Darcy and the prejudice of Elizabeth. and this pride and prejudice was caused by mutual misunderstanding. It means that there was misunderstanding on the part of Elizabeth as well as on the part of Darcy. Earlier in the novel, Mary describes pride as a common failing, human nature. Human nature is particularly prone to it. Mr. Darcy stands as the most obvious proud character in this novel. Wickham tells Elizabeth that he has a filial pride, and we tend to agree with Mrs. Bennet's complaint that he worked here and he worked there, fancying himself so very great. Very important sentence uttered by Mrs. Bennet, mother of Elizabeth. I am again repeating the sentence. He worked here and he worked there, fancying himself so very great. His haughty manners at the ball gave people a very bad impression of his personality, especially Elizabeth, whom he considered as tolerable but not handsome enough to tempt. Lady Catherine, Miss Bingley, and even Elizabeth Bennet constitute the other proud characters, while Lady Catherine's patronizing behavior and Miss Bingley's rudeness are due to their social status. Elizabeth can be deemed proud on the account that she has high respect for herself, and this is best displayed when Elizabeth refers to Darcy, and I am quoting the line. This line was uttered by Elizabeth Bennet, and I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. And I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. Being rejected by him at the ball, her prejudice mounts up, and from the start she willfully misinterprets all his utterances and action. Darcy's pride is stemming from the superiority of intellect. His noble ancestry and his enormous riches prejudices him strongly against Elizabeth's family and her low connections. Although he had never been bewitched by any woman as he was by her, Darcy feels beneath his dignity to admit to his love for her, even when he can repress his feelings no longer, and does propose to Elizabeth. He was not more eloquent on the subject of the tenderness than on pride. He is considerably humbled when he is rejected without ceremony, and Elizabeth's word had, I am repeating the words, had you behaved in a more gentleman-like manner, and her criticism of his self-conceit affect him deeply. Elizabeth's refusal initiates a process of introspection and self-analysis in Darcy. Consequently, he emerges as a man who has gone through a considerable metamorphosis or transition or change. This is revealed by his long explanatory speech to Elizabeth towards the end of the novel. The greatest proof of this transition in Darcy remains firm in his choice of Elizabeth even after Lydia Wickham elopement, which draws from Elizabeth the acknowledgement that I am quoting the words from the novel. Indeed, he has no improper pride. He is perfectly amiable. I am again quoting, I am repeating the word that Elizabeth uttered regarding Darcy. Indeed, he has no improper pride. He is imperfectly amiable. Dear students, remember these lines because a question might be asked here that from when did Elizabeth start understanding the real Darcy? In Elizabeth, the intelligent and self-assured young woman too, we see the interesting compound of pride and prejudice. Her initial prejudice against Darcy arises from injured pride. At the Netherfield ball, she overhears Darcy calling her intolerable but not handsome enough to tempt him. From that evening, Elizabeth is left with no cordial feeling towards Darcy. So, dear student, you can understand right from the beginning, Elizabeth started nurturing a kind of antipathy towards Darcy. Dear students, I will discuss the later part in different lecture. Thank you and enjoy reading.